It's time for Cup of Rad, so let's fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. And now your over-caffeinated hosts, Mike and Katie.
Hey kids, episode 2 of Cup of Rad. This week I'm running solo, so I'm going to jump into a few things that are more near and dear to me this week. Rise of the TMNT. You know, when I first saw the designs, I was a little worried. I was scared of them. I loved the 2012 version of it. It was perfect in my mind. So when the Rise designs came out, I was really scared because it looks very much like the Nickelodeon movies, which had its own modern take where there were things that I really did enjoy and others that, well, it failed for me. So when the designs hit, I wasn't really on board, but I love turtles. I've loved them since I saw those first cartoons, which then found me the Archie comics, which eventually found my way to the Mirage comics, along with the 2K movie, all the live action. There's just a really special place for them in my heart. I love the brotherhood of them together, which is really cool. So I started watching the cartoon. Rise of the TMNT very much is a Teen Titans Go for the Turtle universe. It stands out on its own. Each episode is in its own moment of time. So far, really none of them have connected together. Each have had their own style, so which has made it kind of fun, not being bogged down by any previous history. So, going into that, toys have come out. I am a sucker for action figures. Looking at that though, was the show catching me enough to buy these figures? Well, the answer was yes. And you can look on Instagram and see some photos. More later, of course. Instantly, I bought a Donatello figure. I had to have Donnie. Had to add to the history of the collection. I've gotten almost all of the different versions of him from his major incarnations. Not all the little side characters that he has been over the years. And in front of me right now, I have the Donatello figure. Now, he's a lot smaller than the 2012 figure, which was really interesting to see. But it is a really cool looking figure. The articulation is fantastic. He has quite a bit of range for his up and down head motion, along with his ball jointed shoulders and elbows and wrists and hips and knees and even ankle joints. The paint on him is pretty solid, except for missing out on his gloves. His bow staff, it comes as a regular gray staff, or the mystical, which we haven't really seen yet except for Raph in the series. The other thing that was really cool with the Donatello figure is that he also has the ability to remove his battle shell, protecting the soft shell that he has. So there's a lot of great posability with the Donatello figure, and I was very excited. So after getting the Donatello, I needed to find the others, because you can't have just one. Well, you can, especially when you have your favorites. I have a very extensive Donatello collection. But I was enjoying the show enough. I was getting some laughs out of it. I was laughing more than my son was. He finally did sit down with me and decide to watch. He has a few moments where he sits there staring blankly, saying, What just happened? I don't understand. I don't know if the jokes are flying over his head, because he was getting a lot more of the jokes in the other series. And he also does love Teen Titans Go. He will laugh out loud and cackle at that. So I'm not quite sure if he gets the humor that's in the show. So I was able to then go out and buy the other turtles. Raph was one that I was really excited to get, because as much as I wasn't a big fan of the movie Michael Bay turtle incarnation, the Rise bulky version of Raph is really good. He's got a lot of warmth to his voice and a lot of heart, so I was really excited to check that out. His figure is great. My only real complaint about the figure is that he can't look up or down. He has side-to-side motion, which is perfect, but besides that, he can't look up or down. The only other thing that is a bit of an issue is his tonfas don't really fit in his hands. Not the biggest problem, but they make it awkward. I do enjoy all the articulation that is in the figure, and he's able to get a very good range of poses, and he's a very good playable toy, especially with his mystic powers of his big punching fist, which I thought was a really cool addition. Paint apps are also really solid on this particular figure. So after that, I had to get Michelangelo. Cracking Mikey open, I was very excited. The only problem with Mikey was, out of all the turtles, he had some of the worst paint apps on them. I looked through many of them, and unfortunately, after I cracked him open, I noticed that he had a gibbled foot. His ankle isn't connected, so his left foot is unfortunately not the most stable, so any play value that he will have is kind of gone. But he still had a solid paint app, so I guess I'm okay with that. But looking at the Michelangelo figure, I really dig it. My biggest wonderment, though, is why he has an ability to connect any of his weapons onto the front of his belt, which I thought was really strange, because he comes with two like nunchuck looking things, and then he comes with like a mystic sausage, I call it, and any of them just look really weird connected to that portion of him. His best accessory is that he comes with a skateboard, which I thought was really cool. It rolls fine, he connects to it great, and it's a great little play feature. That comes with a ton of stickers, so it'll be fun to see what sticker I decide to put on there, if I decide to. Leonardo hasn't been my favorite in the show. He is more of a jokester, which doesn't really seem to fit with the character as much as what I've learned over the times. This seems to be a bit more laid back Leonardo, kind of struggling to find his place. The figure, while articulation and paint and everything looks fantastic, the face doesn't capture the character from the cartoon like he is. The face is very angry, very, very stern. I had put him in one pose today, and both Katie and my son had said that he looked very angry. He had a very badass look to him, which I thought was really cool, especially with only having one sword. But he had a very come at me bro look as he stood there. These figures are quite excellent, and I would definitely recommend them to anyone that is a Turtles fan. They have a great play value. In Canada here, they're $9, which I think is a great value for the articulation and the paint apps you get. The recent Into the Spider-Verse figures are up here in Canada for $14.99, and they have 5 points of articulation, whereas you have much more in the turtle figure, and they look really great too. They can sit down, which is fantastic, which is a weird thing to say. But with that, the show itself has been very fun and funny, and if you're looking for a laugh, it's another version of Turtles that we can all kind of enjoy and have fun with. The last one, Repo Mantis, that we watched was very humorous. I found myself laughing out loud, which was really cool. So definitely something to check out if you're interested in the Turtles. Moving from Turtles, we move to New York Comic Con. What came out this past weekend that we found was very interesting? So far, I haven't really seen a lot of news that was really grabbed my attention, which is kind of sad, because usually when the big cons hit, everything's like boom, 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 news, you get overwhelmed. And I've been feverishly looking at all my news sites and social media sites, trying to find the news that really grabs me. DC Primal Age was one of those things that grabbed me. Its Funko has created a new line with Batman, Joker, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, and King Shark into a Masters of the Universe style of action figure line, which Marv Wolfman will be crafting a comic based on it, which is really cool. You're also getting some Battle Beast, Ace the Hound, and a purple lizard for the Joker. They've taken the Batcave and transformed it into a Grayskull-esque playset. All of those seem to be very cool and will be hitting Amazon, I'm hearing. So that was a fun thing to see. That primal battle world barbarian idea. It's an interesting take on it, and possibly be something to maybe snag a couple of those figures, especially Wonder Woman or Batman, to see how they work out, because they look like they're ripped right from the 80s. Harley Quinn animated series for the DC streaming service, her teaser trailer dropped. A lot of Deadpool jokes in this. I was a little worried with it, but Ivy really stood out as the main character. It has a very Daria tone to it. So there was a few laughs in it, and the voice for Harley works. So, when it comes out in about a year, definitely worth a check out, especially if you're a Harley fan. Now, the Aquaman trailer. Wow. 5-minute trailer. And that seems like a long time and could totally spoil the movie. But they really cut it super well. I even saw on Twitter James Wan saying that we barely scratched the surface of the movie. So I'm curious to see what the final running time on this film will be. But there was some really cool moments in it. I was a little leery and I was starting to fall really out of the whole DC excitement. I've been a big fan of the films the DC's put out. They're nowhere near the caliber of the Marvel films, but they still had those fan service moments that really make you go, yes, look what that character just did. The Batman did that, or the Flash did this, or Wonder Woman did that. Oh my God. And Aquaman, he's just badass. Well, this trailer for Aquaman really sucked me in, made me curious about where everything was going to go. And then there was the shot of him in his orange and green suit, the classic comic suit brought to life. And I was just like, I'm there. I am there. Come December, I am there. So if you haven't checked it out, look for it. It looks pretty badass. Last week, The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers came back. Simpsons coming into their 30th year. Unfortunately, both the Simpson episode and the Bob's Burger episode kind of fell flat for me. They were there. It was nice to have them back. There was a few laughs in both of them, but it didn't really feel anything special and exciting. It was no big hurrah, we're back, which was kind of sad. Moving into American Horror Story, Apocalypse, the episode was insane. The Coven's back, flashbacks to Hotel. We're seeing that they tried to get Queenie out of the hotel, and Marge told her that, well, you can't leave, and Cordelia's magic isn't strong enough to get her out of the hotel. Then Langdon walks in. Marge looks scared as hell and says, you better go, and he just walks out with her. That whole flashback episode just really sucked me in, and it was making for this season to be a fantastic season, and it's still in the what's going on, how is this all going to tie together, where is this going, but it's leading to something that I find is a very epic season, and hopefully it continues, because I'm really just all in on this season for sure. The Purge. Shit really picked up and got really interesting. As of last week, I had said there was some story beats that I wasn't really interested in. Well, this week, all 3 storylines got interesting, which was incredible for me. I thought it was a very fun thing to happen. You've got, the Marine is in the Carnival of Flesh now, and at the end of that episode, he just got captured by the guy that's trying to kill his sister because they have a past together because she was his girlfriend who was on drugs with him. So, and then you got now the businesswoman. She's been traveling, seeing what other people do, and now she's getting pulled into it as well. And then you've got the rich people that are trying to get the money that are now having on the run because that party just got stormed by like a rebellion of people. So now they're out in the world. So it's like, come on, next episode. It was very exciting for sure. So there was some fun TV that we watched this last week, which was really cool. Speaking of The Purge, we finally watched The First Purge. I was excited to see where The First Purge started. I really enjoyed the movie for the most part, but unfortunately I did not see it being connected to the others as much in the survival horror aspect. It was a lot more of a straightforward action movie, which was a little disappointing to me. I would rank it about a 2 out of 5. It was slightly rad. It definitely could have picked up in some places and seen some more horror, but unfortunately it was lacking in that. But I did like how they talked about how it started and how it was more or less created by the founding fathers, which was really cool to see. And there you have it, kids. Episode 2 of Cup of Rad. This week, we're going for a bite-sized cookie, fun little morsel for you to enjoy. We have some other things, so we might have some longer episodes a little later, especially later this month when we get into a full Rednesia episode of horror movies. That's right, we're going to be doing a whole Halloween spooky spectacular special, which will be really fun. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you for listening. Love this episode of Cup of Rad? Please subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more rad content.